What's up, friends? Welcome back to another episode of the NFT 365 podcast. And it's been a lot of fun creating the podcast on a daily basis. And not only creating the podcast, but we're minting an NFT every single day. And then, of course, we're supporting it, and this is super powered by the Adhd Coin, which is a creator coin that I created on Rally.io back in March of this year. We launched kind of like in the April timeframe. And I'm going to tell you, these last 45, 48 days of this since we launched the podcast, we're buying the mint every day. We also rolled out our own NFTs with the Mint 365 NFT, and if you want to hear some updates on that, stick around to the end of the podcast episode. But when we launched the podcast, the coin that supports our show was $3.89. And I have to tell you, as of the recording of this show today, we are at $9.53. That is 3x for all of those that jumped in to support the show. But it's also just the power of community. And I'm a big believer in that the rising tide lifts all boats. And part of the beautiful thing that I think of when it comes to decentralization and this idea of Web3 shifting the power and ownership from platforms and entities back into the individuals is that we should be able to, empower the community. We should understand the role individuals play. And we have to recognize what things that we can change, what things that we can implement in our strategies, in the way we even launch or create things in this NFT space, so that we can actually take advantage of a Web3 mindset and approach. And this is nothing new, right? I think a lot of the designs right now outside of cryptocurrency, even the implementation of some of the metaverse experiences that I've seen lately, where you're inside of a metaverse and it's opening a link that is, sitting on an AWS server, part of it is we have to understand that balance. And I will say the NFT space for sure is not all sunshine and rainbows. In the last 8 days, I've participated in 5 very large launches of NFTs. And when I say large launches, these are very hyped projects. Everybody knows it's hard to get on the whitelist. You have to, spend a whole lot of time in a Discord, and who's got time for that? And I participated in 5 that I did not have a whitelist for. I did not have no one hooked me up. And on one of them, I purposely turned down the offer, partially because for me, I want to be able to look at solutions and talk about things that are going on in this space from the standpoint of all of us, right? Not just because I get favors because of my following, or I have a verified Twitter account, or because, I'm a keynote speaker. And so I was 0 for 5 in those projects. And we could argue that there was 2 components that were beating me out in these projects. Now I know how to work this game, right? I understood the contract. I knew I had the mint loaded with enough, gas for my contract. And I lost because of two different, scenarios that I'm going to talk about right now, that I believe both of them are problems. One of them is that I'm dealing with it right now, and it's a lot more work than I expected. And that is understanding the nuances of a smart contract, especially when you're going to mint an NFT, which means you're going to launch an NFT at a certain time. Now, I will say a lot of these projects have done a lot of testing to try to prevent bots. And then a lot of them have also worked really hard to create whitelists, to also limit the amount of NFTs that can be minted at once. So you can't just have some whale buying 10. Now, of course, a lot of these big, we say whales, but a lot of these are entities that are buying up NFTs, is they're getting a bundle of wallets, locking them with loads of ETH, and being able to, scoop up massive amounts of NFTs at once. And I will tell you, one of the contracts, in less than 30 seconds, 3,000 NFTs were fully minted and it was sold out. And I think there's 2 things at play here, right? And I mentioned that contract, right? Understanding the nuances of a smart contract. But here's the thing that I think a lot of these people, these groups are testing, and we have developers that are designing directly for smart contracts and the different aspects they hear. But we also, once we start adding in all of these different layers, right? We're adding in, more transparency. We're adding in these ideas of tokenomics. We want to make sure that we have IP rights that are outlined in these projects. We want to make sure that we're not allowing the team that works for the project to just mint all of the most rare ones. So we want to make sure that we're randomly generating that art, especially if that's what we're going to do. We're hiding the reveal of the art. And so here's what I think has happened. In the last year, we've pushed NFT projects to a point where you almost need an army of people to execute it at any type of scale. Now, for many people, they might say that was just kind of like, duh, that was what's going to happen. I'm on the space of we need to set some things in place and some like really benchmarks, not really, it's not like enforceable rules, but we need to be able to start to share and like really open source some of the things that are working really well. And I think one of the things that bothers me is that when we participate in an NFT launch or even an airdrop, like this week, the SOS airdrop coin came out from 9x9, and it was a really smooth airdrop, right? They had the website, it was secure, people looked into the contract, it was very well done in my opinion, and very interesting, kind of disrupted the whole world of NFTs this week. But here's the thing. If projects are creating really dynamic minting experiences and launches, we need to be able to share that with the community so that we can all learn from that. Now, the downside of this is, let's not be naive. As soon as we open source and share this, it also gives those that are writing bots, those that are the whales that are paying to have all of these contracts being able to be manipulated. And I will tell you, part of this a smart contract is, and the utility is really the code underneath of the NFT, and that code, the number one vulnerability is human interaction and human creation. And I know a lot of these bots, what they're able to do is they're able to mint and move NFTs at a rate where the contracts aren't even able to see that they're maxing out, or also because you can't trace them. And so I think the whale problem, is a difficult one. Now the bot problem, I do believe KYC, which is know your customer, which means for anyone to actually set up an account, right? For those of you that are on rally.io, if you guys want to take your coins to your bank, you have to go through the KYC process. It's fairly simple. You take you fill out some information, you take a picture of the front and back of your driver's license, depending on where you're from, you give a couple other things that you're doing, and then it just verifies that you are you. Now, I was having this conversation on Twitter today that what if we were only allowing, wallets that had KYC approved to actually mint NFTs? Now, this sounds great, but there are a lot of people that are operating with anonymity and through pseudonyms right now that do not want to do the KYC process, right? Maybe it's because of taxes or their background, or maybe they don't want their full-time job to know what they're doing. Well, this is kind of a dilemma. And I will tell you, there's two sides of this, right? We can think of it from the creator artist side, the one that's designing these launches, right? And, my good buddy Gary Henderson said, he tweeted back to me today and he said, an ETH is an ETH, Brian. It doesn't really matter whose ETH it is. And I said, well, that's spoken like a true creator of projects, not someone that wants to not only allow a fair shot, right? Like, I don't want to spread the wealth. I want everyone to have a fair shot across the board, right? If you have, the liquidity and you are there at the right time and you have the things, I want everybody to have a fair shot. If I lose because we all click the button at the same time and others beat me to it, so be it. But if I don't even have a chance, no matter what I do, because there are computer programs writing at the millisecond that a contract is launched, that's a whole different thing. And so this does become a problem. And I will say, I'm from the camp that if you are operating from a pseudonym or through anonymity where you don't have your name on your accounts, you have to also take the risk as well as the downside of some of that, right? And so I think minting on contract on public sale should be required to have KYC, which would mean if you are, anonymous and under a pseudonym, then you need to actually, be on the whitelist, or you're going to have to, buy it on secondary market, right? And I would love, if you are operating anonymously or through a pseudonym, send me a tweet back. I will happily, do an episode based on what the conversation we have. But, I'm one that has never operated on that. I'm a big believer in being yourself online and offline. I believe there are some reasons for people to shade their identity or hide their identity or to disguise their identity. But I also think there's ways for you to have a pseudonym like Bored Elon. Bored Elon is a massively successful and popular Twitter account, I think over 1 million followers. But he's been tweeting for like 7 years and has people that are validating and backing up the work he's done and accomplished. And so that's something that you can kind of build in there. And so I think that's a problem. I think the solution is let's do what we can to eliminate the bot problem to give people a chance. And if that means that those that are wanting to operate outside of normal standards, well, they're going to have to kind of deal with that more so than the everyday person. The other one is this whale problem, right? And I kind of laugh at this because like I am one, here's the thing we have to understand, the nuances of NFT virality, right? If a project like launches and everyone only has one of those NFTs and it's a great community and everybody's excited they got their dream NFT, how many people are selling that NFT? How many people are trading it? Not very many. Therefore, there's not very much momentum, right? There's not very much, onboarding of new people and new blood and new energy. And so you become into this stale problem of now how do you generate things, right? And we've seen like one of my favorite projects. I think it's a project, like if you're listening to this right now and you were looking to get in with a project that I believe in the founders and I am all in on it, so much so that I have their sweatshirts and their gear. Crypto Dads, which also has Crypto Moms, they just launched a energy drink partnership. They said on their town hall this week that they are working very hard on an animated series for Netflix. They're doing a lot of really creative things. They have poker. They have a poker meetup within their group. Lots of dads supporting dads as well as moms in this group, and their floor price shot up for a long while, and it's come down. It's been pretty, I would say for the last 3 weeks or so, been pretty level set. But that project has one of the most unique holders of all of the projects. I believe they have like 70 of the 10,000. I could probably pull it up here. Of the 10,000 NFTs that are rolled out under Crypto Dads, I believe it's like 7,400 or 7,800 of them so there's 7,800 owners of the NFTs, which means there's not very many people that own more than 2 or 3, right? Or multiples of them. And because of that, there's not very much traffic. And I'm guilty of that, right? Like I minted my Crypto Dad and I literally said, I was like, oh my goodness, this is the Crypto Dad for me. Like he's got tattoos, he's got a beard, he's bald where I'm voluntarily bald. And I haven't traded on that at all. When I got my Crypto Mom airdrop, I added that to my vault as well. And so I have contributed to the non-traffic aspect of it. Now I will say part of what I like to look at it is how do I educate and bring people in? But here's the problem. If you allow whales, and this was something I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a teaser here. I spent 6 hours yesterday, which is probably now 11 hours this week, monitoring transactions on the blockchain for projects that don't mint out right away, right? So projects that launch, but they kind of take like 24, 48, maybe 3 days to sell their entire collection. What I've been trying to study is I've been really recording those that buy a lot of the NFT right at the launch. What is their strategy? How are they flipping them, right? What is the mentality? And I will tell you, I'm going to have a whole episode, probably 2 episodes on this entire thing. But one of them is that I've noticed, and it's very trendy, is that a lot of them don't care about a specific feature or even a rare feature. They're looking for the one-of-one collections or the really super rare inside of 100 NFTs. Now, because of that, they're oftentimes willing to dump at like barely over what they paid for the NFTs that they don't think have qualified. So one of the things that I've noticed, for those, I'm big on minting and buying an NFT. I like the random draw of it. I like getting the art that's presented to me. It's part of the idea of, if you get lucky and you get one that's really rare, you can really, kind of do some cool things and make some serious money. But I will tell you, we're buying an NFT, a mint NFT every single day with this project. I've decided myself individually with my wallet right now, I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks only buying on secondary market. So even for a minted project, because I like being into projects right when they launch, I'm going to wait to those flip those projects back in. So maybe they only sold 3,000 of their 10,000 collection. Rather than me buying 3,001 on their website, I'm going to go to OpenSea and I'm going to watch the list traffic and I'm going to track what are the couple features or properties that I believe are going to be rare right now. And that's the other thing that's hard here, right? Because the Rarity Sniper and Rarity Tools, they're not going to pull the full data of what the rare items are until the entire project, the collection is minted. And by that time, it's probably too late. So what you have to be good at is you have to start really having a sense. And so I like to study the website and okay, what are the teaser graphics, right? Go into the Discord. What are the sneak peeks? Okay, if they're marketing these this art, these pieces of the different properties of this art might be the more rare properties. So now I'm gonna go into OpenSea. I'm gonna wait to that a couple hours in. I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna hit activity, and then I'm gonna hit list. And I'm going to see everyone, and I'm going to hit transfer. List and transfer, I'm going to leave both of them toggled on. And then I'm going to look and see, and it updates automatically. And you're going to see people that are minting. You're going to see people that are transferring NFTs. And then you're going to see also the people that are relisting. And what I like to do is those that I see minting a lot, I open another tab with their wallet. And if I see them buying 12 or 13 NFTs of this one project, I'll go through their wallet, find the one that I like, I'll hit favorite. And so then when I see it come on the list, if it's one that I favorited, I immediately, if the price makes sense, right? Because a lot of times they're flipping it just for barely over what they bought it for. I'll actually just buy the one that I have favorited immediately, right? So now I'm getting, kind of thinking about this beyond the strategy side. So with that being said, the other part of this that you have to think about is some of the projects don't do the reveal. And part of the reason they don't do the reveal right away is for part of the reason what I just said, right? The ability for people to kind of sit on the secondary market. So some projects wait, multiple days, right? Psychedelics Anonymous, which was one of the biggest projects in the last quarter, which I happen to be lucky enough to get on the whitelist. Shout out to Voltron and the team there. They actually reached out to me in October about that project, so I was excited to kind of follow it on his journey, and I was able to whitelist it there. But for that project, that was one that it sold out in 30 seconds, all 3,000 of them. The thing about it is they're not actually doing the mint until tomorrow. So they sold out 3 days ago, and they're doing the mint tomorrow. So now that becomes a problem, right? Because now you have this weird limbo in between the day something launches and the day the art is revealed for everybody. I think there's some room for innovation here. And there's also room to incentivize people to either not sell or to sell so much so that they actually gain something, right? Like one of the things that we were brainstorming with, the team that one of the teams that I'm consulting with and helping with their launch, they're doing a launch in March, was, what if we did not a raffle for the launch? What if we did between the launch and the art reveal? What if we said for everybody that is transacting, buying and selling one of the NFTs during that period, for everyone that buys and sells one, you're getting yourself one token, and then based on however many tokens you get has certain things that are going to give you maybe a reserve aspect of the NFTs, right? Because here's the thing I don't like. I don't like only giving whitelist passes to those that are in the Discord, right? Now you're really honestly, you're going after the 1% people that are spending their entire time in your Discord, right? A couple of these projects, they were even whoever used the most words in their Discord over a month period was going to get on the whitelist. And I was like, so you're just begging people to spam and be very long-winded? What is the value there, right? And it's just giving away a card just so your Discord invites go up, right? Let's face it. This is how I'm going to look at it. This is how I want you guys to think about this whole episode as we kind of bring it together. And I have a new segment for you guys right here at the end of this podcast episode. But when the problem that we have right now is that whitelists and raffles and this whole public sale, pre-sale, VIP sale, half best friend sales that are going on right now, it's not very innovative, right? We have to figure out a way that allows us to design the mechanics around a launch a little bit nicer. The other part of this that we have to think about is that, just because Twitter followers and they have a lot of Discord members or a lot of Instagram members, I heard this the other day, we're going to check how many, this was on TikTok. One of the NFT experts on TikTok said, how that this NFT project's a fraud? If you go and look at their pinned tweet, and their pinned tweet doesn't have 10% of retweets of their total number of followers, it's a fraud. They're all bots. And I was like, I mean, the fact that these people are gaining massing followings is a problem, but I digress. So here's the thing. We have the mechanics that are a problem, but we also were benchmarking projects before launch on vanity metrics like Twitter followers, Discord members, how many followers do their founders have? And I think we have to figure out and go deeper. Now, you guys know there's an episode I did a couple of weeks ago where I break down my trust score that I build with projects. I will tell you, it's been harder to do the trust score recently because so many projects kind of like level out in that same like 6 to 8 grade area out of 10 that I have to kind of tweak that. But where I'm going with this whole thing is if the mechanics need fixed and we can't really benchmark via the vanity metrics, here's where I think, and this is going to probably surprise some people, this is where I think influencers, thought leaders, and analysts play a role. And here's the thing, and you guys heard this in a recent episode as well. We have to stop listening to those that are touting every project and then not even buying it or not even admitting that there was a problem with it, right? We need to unfollow them. We need to not allow them to continue to be looked at as influential, going to all their Twitter spaces because they're dramatic. We need to stop rewarding those. We need to start rewarding people that talk about projects that they're not invested in. We need to start rewarding people that are giving people more than, hey, I just bought my 8th Pudgy Penguin. Well, what about the Pudgy Penguin project is worth investing in, worth being a part of? And I will tell you, we have 6 founders NFTs left right now for sale. And here's the kind of the breaking news that I teased out earlier. We've extended the price lock for our NFTs until January 1st. So on 1/1/2022, because you guys know I love numbers, we are going to change the pricing, not change it, but rather than it being locked in on the dollar amount, it's going to be locked in on the actual Adhd Coin amount. So it's going to be a certain amount of coin. It's the average that we've sold it on is going to go public. So I'm going to tell you from this day forward, from January 1st forward, it's going to be much more expensive to buy one of our Superfans NFTs, which is there's about 200 of those left. And then we have 6 of the founders NFTs that we have left. And it's going to be much more expensive, at least 20% more expensive starting on January 1st. And then as our coin grows, I told you we've 3x'd it since we launched this podcast. That price is going to continue to go up because I know some people are just they're like thinking about waiting around to see how this project goes, decide if they want to buy in because, you guys get a piece of the revenue of this project when we sell the entire project on November 11th, 2022. And I want to reward the super fans. I want to reward the people that are investing and believing at the beginning. And the reason I bring that all up is because I actually think that's part of the answer with these thought leaders and influencers. Let's focus on the core people that we can influence by being not only authentic with our, what we're talking about, how we're, what projects we're looking at, but also assessing our wins and our losses and being willing to put things out there. The flip of that is for everyone that's an audience, we have to be able to support the creators and the NFT influencers and the NFT thought leaders that are willing to admit when they get something wrong, rather than putting them on blast and calling them out and trying to embarrass them, because all that does is allow the frauds to continue to get more attention, and it makes people like that really care. They're like, why should I care? Why should I admit when, hey, I thought this project was great. The rug was pulled on me as well. Or guys, I thought for sure it was going to mint out. I can't believe it didn't mint out, right? Like being able to admit that. And also that means admitting when you're getting gifts and all those type of things. So that's kind of like my answer where I think we need to go on this. I do think we have a mechanics problem in the smart contracts. I think we have a vanity metrics problem as a whole. And I also think we have a lot of work to do as far as innovation of launches. And I haven't seen really any project do it perfectly, but perfection is a fairy tale in my mind. So that's kind of where I'm going in those pieces. The last thing is I wanted to kind of, one of the things that I've been asking you guys for feedback, and you guys have been amazing. And, shout out, I think we had 11 new reviews since Friday, since 2 episodes ago, of people that have jumped out on iTunes or on Spotify and reviewed the podcast. I just want to say thank you guys for doing that. I see all of you. But one of the other things that we've seen, I've had some people come out to me and say, Brian, like I need more updates on these projects that you're doing and these, this entire, series. So this segment right here, I'm just going to mention what a couple of the projects are that we just recently minted for our Mint 365 project. And for those that aren't familiar, we are buying an NFT every single day for a year. We started on November 11th, 2021. It was inspired by Beeple and Beeple's mosaic that he created from his 1,000 digital pieces of art. We're going to do the same thing with 365 pieces of NFTs, and we're buying them every day. And we've done it across 9 blockchains so far, a wide variety from fashion to just straight art, massive utility to DAO enablement to expansion punks to all of these different projects. And so the thing that a lot of you have mentioned is about like, okay, give us a little update or a preview. And I will tell you, if you guys listened back, the first week of this podcast, I mentioned one of the projects that we did really well on that kind of launched really amazingly was a project called Astroheads. And I actually believe it's a really strong community, has some great art. There's some nuances of the project itself that I think are going to help it be successful. But I will tell you the floor price on that has definitely come down since kind of its peak. It kind of hit a really high spot. I believe it was like 0.15, and it's now down to 0.04. Now I will tell you, I think that project is a project you can get in very low on, and if you're willing to hold it, you can probably make some money up in that long run. Now I will say, we had a couple of projects where we went a little bit mainstream, right? So we did a Matrix, we did Ghostbusters, we did Mary Mods with Tom Bayous and him and his wife. We did a couple like the more mainstream projects. I will say they're holding their floor right now. And even the Matrix ones that we have, we got an offer. The Matrix was $50 to buy one of the Matrix ones. I personally bought 5 and 1 for the project, 4 for myself. And the one that we have under this contract, we got an offer, I believe, for it was like $180. So I messaged. So, hey, that's 3.5x on our buy-in, which is a pretty good thing to think about. But, then there's some other projects that I can tell you, like there's one coming up called Stacks, STAXX. NFT, Stacks NFT. And what's really cool about it is it's really neat art that they're going to reveal very soon, but it's also a project that allows you to add on additional NFTs onto the project. So by holding this NFT, you get free NFTs around on other projects. That's going to be one that's going to be very interesting to watch. And the reason I mention that is that's what this segment's going to be, is I'm going to share, hopefully at the end of probably every other episode, an innovative use case for an NFT. And so that's where I want you guys to stick around to the end of every episode. And starting next week, we are going to be giving you guys a secret word. And then you're going to be able to put that secret word in, and you're going to get either tokens, you're going to get ADHD Coin, or you're going to get an NFT that will be rewarding you for actually listening to this show and knowing what the secret word is. We're going to do it for like the first 100 people that do so. And we drop the show on different times throughout the day. So, turn on the bell. Make sure you have notifications on for the podcast NFT 365. So for this one, an innovative use case for your NFTs can actually sell and like use your founders, your Genesis, your early adopters, and either give them a free NFT or a very low discounted NFT and really work with them to say, hey, we want to onboard with you. We want to learn with you to help build this amazing community. And in return, we're going to give you the next 2 years of NFTs that we roll out. We're going to give you, free. We're going to give you free. We're going to give you discounted versions of them. So you can actually use an NFT with a smaller batch, right? Like I love small batch NFT drops. I love 777 drops or 333, which is what my friends over at Chibi Nation have done. And so the innovative use case here is, what are ways, rather than trying to boil the ocean or build a giant community all at once, what if you found 100 people that you could just spend 60 days with as a project, as a team? And then once you learn so much from this 100 people that bought in on your Genesis project, you can now use them as your marketing and your sales. But also that Genesis NFT starts to increase in price because, what if I sell it after a year? That person that buys it from me is entitled to the rest of those free NFT drops for the upcoming year, right? So utility, that's the nice thing about NFTs that we have to remember, is utility carries on with the contract. It does not stay with the original buyer because it's baked in there. There's nothing you can actually do to undo that. And so that's some of these nice things to do it. And if you think about it, you can use an NFT to buy for future offline events. You could even do it for podcasts What if I would have done that for the podcast is I would have given out to the first 100 subscribers an NFT, and then I would have told all of them, for all of my drops for the first year of this project, I'm going to give you free. All you have to do is pay for gas, and you're going to be able to part all of these NFTs as long as you help me like active in the community and you help me kind of grow this team. I bet you a lot of you would have jumped in on it. So that's the innovative use case for this episode. And lastly, what I want to tell you guys is the other part is we are very close to hitting a special number of ADHD Coin supporters. And here's what I'm going to tell everyone that's listening. I'm only going to tell this in the podcast. When we hit 1,093 supporters of the ADHD coin, I'm going to airdrop an NFT to every single holder. If you were one of the first 1,093 holders, you can buy one coin, you can buy half a coin, you can buy 1/4 of a coin if you wanted to. If you are one of those first 193 supporters of our ADHD coin, when we hit 1,093, I'm going to airdrop you an NFT. So we are at 1,045 right now. So if you're listening to this, jump on this opportunity, jump into that first 1,093. And here's what I'm going to do with this. That NFT is not only going to give you access to the future whitelists of a couple of projects that I'm in the works with, but it's also going to give you access to a private virtual event. And so if you are holding one of those first 1,093, and they're going to be free, they're going to be no gas charges, nothing. Rally.io, check it out. The Rally marketplace does not force me to charge gas. There's no transaction fees on our Rally marketplace. So I'm going to be able to mint all these NFTs. I'm going to give you them, but I'm not going to just give you them to have a nice to have in your wallet. I'm going to add some utility there, and we're going to sprinkle in some opportunities, including one of the brands that is going to come on to sponsor the podcast. They're like, Brian, we want to do a giveaway to like your most loyalist listeners. I was like, you know what? I think maybe the first 1,093 that are holding that NFT, I'm just going to post it out there, and I'm going to post a link out there, and the requirement's going to be, if you hold the NFT, you can get this free giveaway, this free thing the brand is bringing into the table. So make sure you guys check that out. And here's the other deal that I'm going to have. It's not just 1,093. There's other numbers between 1,000 and 2,000 that I'm going to reward some NFTs as well. So if you're listening to this podcast later on and you're like, oh, I can't believe I missed it when it launched, make sure you get one of those ADHD coins. Just go to adhdcoin.com, sign up a free account. You don't need a hardware wallet. You don't need a software wallet. You set up your portfolio there on Rally. I do recommend you going through the Know Your Customer procedure, which will kind of help you guys when you want to take money to your bank account, because that's what this is all about. I don't want you to just get stuck with your money in something. But it also allows for some more creativity there. But you're going to create your Rally account. Then if you want to go over to the Discord, you're going to put your Discord link inside of your Rally account. Jump over into our Discord, go into bot commands and type in CoinJoin. And then it's going to automatically give you roles. It's going to give you access to private channels within our Discord. All just my way of saying thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for buying some ADHD coin. It's really my only ask. And remember, you hold the coins. You're not sending them to me. I want you to hold the coins in your wallet. I want you to get weekly rewards every week. I want the coin to continue to grow in value so we all win. Because it's all about we are greater than me, and I believe it. I'm living it. We're giving away 52% of our NFT project that we sell on November 11th. So if you're listening to this before January 1st, make sure you go get yourself an NFT, one of either the mint